130 reasons I embrace atheism is that religion that I grew up in perpetuates queer phobia. And I'm an ally to vulnerable people inside or outside that community. People who haven't identified as that community, either they're closeted, hiding, or they are oblivious to what they are. And I don't want to be a part of a religion that says they're moral because they hate queer people. If you view someone as sinful or morally degenerate because they're not married to a woman, then you're not a moral person. You're not moral not because you're not married, but because you actually believe that somebody is a good, decent person who's what I call being married and being straight for the majority of men out there gives them a illusion of respectability. And I talked to my therapist about this. She says the majority of people, the majority of straight men, especially white, they don't even like women. They don't. They only put up with us because we can have children, free labor, free sex. That's really the reality. And I'm not saying there's not some good straight guys out there. I'm saying the majority stereotype kind of guy you're going to meet out there. The straight men, they don't like women. They like what we give them. Men want access to us by whatever means necessary. And the kind of man we elected as president should tell you kind of what extremes they'll go to. That's why I can never date a man who supports conservative, religious, political ideology. If you voted for Trump, I will never date you. Because you're saying it's okay to elect a rapist and a sexual offender into a political power vacuum. There's no way you can justify with acute morality that this is okay. You can't. If you vote for people who vote against abortion rights or vote abortion rights away, you don't respect women. You don't even like them. Because I may not like people, but I don't want to take away their rights. And there's usually a very legitimate reason why I don't like them. And it's not their race, it's not their gender, it's not their religion. It's what they enable. That usually is why I don't like them. That's why I don't like Charlie Kirk. I just don't like racist, spouting, sexist, fascist. But that's my personal opinion. I think the majority of people like him because they either don't know what he stood for or they've been told a whitewashed view of what he stood for. We call it nostalgia. And the sad part is, Christianity hates anything that isn't straight, white man's privilege, and male entitlement. There's a reason why the groups of people that brought Christianity to the New World were white, straight, heterosexual, religious, right-wing extremists. I mean, come on. The places that England sent missionaries to in the 17 and 1800s were from cultures that still had slaves, viewed women as property, and viewed children as livestock. They were never from countries that I'm aware of that viewed women as equal. They weren't possessions. They had rights, property, and voting. Those missionaries came from patriarchal, miserable societies that just happened for that time period to be the world power. White man's religion is what I call Christianity. And I know there is a lot of African Americans that are Christians. It's ironic, isn't it, that African Americans believe in a religion that kept them enslaved and supported slavery, even to this day. Okay? People who hang around Trump, they want to go back to slavery. Even their text that got leaked a few weeks ago mentioned, we want to go back to slavery. So, no, I will never date. I will never be friends. I don't want anyone in my life that believes in religions and ideologies that keep people from reaching their potential. And by potential, I don't mean eugenics and fascism and slavery. I'm talking about being a happy, whole human being who isn't afraid to hold someone's hand when they walk down the street because they're not straight. So I just want to avoid groups of religions and political ideologies and philosophies that treat people as less than for finding a different type of person attractive. It's gross. It's gross to see homophobia. I mean, if I watch a movie or a TV show that makes a joke about two men being close friends, even if it's platonic, and they avoid emotional and physical connection, that's homophobia. And I mean, I love watching Friends, but there are a lot of sexist, homophobic, and transphobic storylines. Even Sex and the City's like that. Dawson's Creek too. But the difference is, watching it, I'm not enabling this. I see it, and if it's something I find very interesting, I make a video about it. And what's one of the best parts about revisiting TV shows is not only recognizing toxic and bad belief systems and seeing how our society just no longer permits certain storylines. I mean, storylines about people reacting terribly to someone being trans. I think there was a storyline where Brian freaked out when Quagmire's father transitioned. Would not be permissible today. Storylines that, and I don't remember many because I watched a lot of these shows before I became a queer ally. But any show that treats gay people as expendable or as the savior who sacrifices their happiness just wouldn't be okay today. And fat phobia, I mean, a lot of these things you can't do now. It's just, you would be canceled faster than what happened on that show. That Trump got rid of that person and he came back. I forget what his name is. Someone leave it in the comments if you want. You get canceled now for making jokes that were in popular shows 25 years ago. That's what I love to see, the progression of, we just won't tolerate this anymore. The victim blaming, the slut shaming. I love to see how our society has changed. It's not great now, but at least now the majority of people on this planet who are women would never, ever tune back in after hearing those things. That's why Game of Thrones had controversy, the way they showed women in a negative light. I love seeing how our society is progressing in a better way. We are kind of backsliding right now. But I think once we can get somebody in the White House in 3 years that's better, we can start shedding the white supremacy that's popular right now. And that's why I avoid religion. It doesn't see queer people as equals and as normal people. And luckily there are a few liberal denominations that do view them better. But the biggest powerhouses, the religious machines behind politics, they're the ones who still view queer people as predators, when the majority of predators are probably giving spiritual assistance to Trump. I've noticed that at least 10 of his spiritual advisors have been arrested. And I'm not laughing at their crimes. I'm laughing at the irony of religious hypocrisy and just gross behavior. Yeah. But I love atheism because it helps me see that I don't need to be part of a religion that hates people I actually enjoy spending time with. And I love spending time. I mean, I have interests. I'd say 9 out of 10 things I watch every day has at least 4 queer people in them. I mean, I'm rewatching things like Heartstopper and Queer as Folk and things like that. So I just find queer cinema much more interesting than straight cinema. But that's my preference. And I'm not saying straight people are boring. I'm just saying it's much more interesting on the other side. So, and that's my take of it.